Welcome back and Happy New Year.
Whew, it's been a while. Very good break we took. We're super excited about this video. I know. We're very excited about this phone. We took a really good break during the holidays. We spent some time with friends and family.
Yep.
But we're so excited to be back in 2026 with new content, new plans, and just to show you what we're going to review for the year.
Yeah, starting off with the OnePlus 15. This phone was difficult to get a hold of.
Oh, dude, it was. I mean, because it's been out for months now.
Late October.
Yeah.
The U.S. government had a shutdown, so the availability to pick up this phone was delayed. Like
Right.
they launched it, but you couldn't order it. And then by the time you could, it was like early to mid-December.
Right.
It didn't get delivered until like right around close to Christmas time.
Yeah.
So, but we've been using it since then. I like this phone a lot.
Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
Now, with that said, it's obvious that this phone is very exciting. There's a lot of good things on paper that it promises, but one of the things that as soon as I saw it, I said, this is gonna be great. It's the design.
It looks so good.
It's so clean looking. It's very, very minimalistic, but / they put attention to detail where it matters. I've always been a fan of the flat edges and that breaky look on a phone, but this one also compromises and gives you that curved, soft feeling when you hold it in your hand that is honestly very pleasing to hold. This phone actually, it has this micro arc oxidation process. And this is what we were figuring out as we were discovering and trying this phone, is there's a finish that just feels so soft and smooth in your hand that turns plastic and aluminum into some premium, more durable, scratch resistant material that this phone has. Feels light, it feels great. And it's also something that Apple should have done. But that's something for something later.
Don't get me started on that.
The camera module also got a redesign. It is also very clean, more organized and symmetrical with the design and logo of the frame.
I think it looks great.
And you have your new plus button on one side and volume rocker and power button on the right side. So it's a very, very clean phone. I think this is a good standard of what a smartphone should look like and have everything that you need while not sacrificing things that are extra.
Yeah, we know that like slab phones these days, they've kind of reached that.
You get to a peak, and it's hard to reinvent the wheel.
They've kind of reached that peak. That's why folding phones are starting to pick up steam right now. But the OnePlus 15 is such a good-looking phone. It's such a good-looking phone. And that micro-arc oxidation finish that he was talking about earlier, it's something like a little over 3 times tougher than aluminum, 1.3 times tougher than titanium, while also maintaining that lightweight feel. And there's a big vapor chamber in that phone, too, for cooling. So it's almost like... Gosh,
almost like...
Do we know another company with access to like billions of dollars worth of resources?
I think after the New Year's, my brain just hit a reset, so I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah.
But,
there's another company that could have made their latest flagship phones a little bit more durable. While we're on the subject of durability, you want to talk about water resistance ratings? You want to know how many this phone has? This phone has?
Oh, yeah.
It has 4. IP66, IP68, IP69, and IP69K.
It's crazy.
IP69K means that the phone can survive high-pressure water jets hitting it with hot water temperatures.
So if for some reason you're power washing your driveway and it falls out of your pocket and you look at your phone and you say, oh, let me spray that real quick. Yeah. It could survive.
Yeah, a more realistic scenario is maybe you leave it in your jeans whenever you start the laundry.
Right.
Yeah. It should be able to survive a wash in the laundry, which is insane. Because historically, do you remember the days where OnePlus didn't want to pay for an IP rating? And then instead they would just put
their own
rings,
yes.
Like they would put the water sealing rings around like the SIM card tray, for example, or like whatever, and they didn't want to pay the extra for that. Now they said, you know what, we'll give you 4.
They're petty like that.
I like the style. I like that. This is fun. I like this phone.
It's a very good looking phone. I would give them an A+. I mean, they're ending the last year and starting this year great, in my opinion.
Now, besides the back of the phone and the enclosure looking amazing, the display also looks great too. A couple of steps forward, 1 step back, but I don't think the step back is too...
I think it's a good compromise.
I
would 100% make that change.
Too big of a deal. So as far as display size goes, 6.78 inches.
Versus...
Don't do the meme.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't remember what the OnePlus... What did the OnePlus 13 have?
It's like 6.82.
6.82? You're right, it is 6.82. The OnePlus 13 had 6.82, so slightly larger.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. 165 hertz maximum refresh rate on this display.
Yep.
Okay, it's important to know that the 165 hertz is really only going to kick in whenever you're playing games that have been optimized for that display. So 165 is essentially only reserved for gaming. The cool part is Call of Duty Mobile is already on that list.
That's good.
So you can literally download Call of Duty Mobile and game at 165 hertz. That's insane. For everything else that you're using on this phone, you can just cap out at 120.
I think, yeah, and I think when I say that it's a good balance, it's one of those things that when you're looking at gaining refresh rate and sacrificing a few pixels on your screen, especially for a panel this small, you're not going to notice that much of a resolution change versus you are going to notice the refresh rate upgrade.
Yeah.
That is so much more noticeable when you go up that many more hertz versus losing a few pixels. So I think it's a good compromise.
Yeah, I remember reading about the slightly lower display resolution to achieve the refresh rate.
Right.
And I was a little concerned because the display on the OnePlus 13 was fantastic. But then getting this phone and unboxing it and setting it up, one of the first things that I said as I was going through that, I was like, this display is sharp.
Yeah, and it's very smooth.
It's still very, very sharp. And you're right, it is very smooth because this phone, outside of the chip that it features, it also features 2 in-house chips from OnePlus.
That's very impressive.
So one of them is an in-house Wi-Fi chip specifically designed to optimize download speeds on your Wi-Fi network, which we did test.
We compared it to an iPhone 17 Pro.
We compared it to an iPhone 17 Pro on the same network, and it was
about 100 to 200 megabits faster on this phone.
Consistently. Like we tested it multiple times, and it performed faster on the Wi-Fi in terms of download speed than an iPhone 17 Pro. And there's also a touch response chip in this phone. Like when you're using this phone, it's so ridiculously smooth.
Yeah. I mean, the UI also helps a lot with the software and the optimization that it has.
Yeah.
But just the overall experience with the display and the gestures that you have, it is very, very smooth.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about performance while we're here?
I think it's great.
Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5.
What kind of RAM does it have?
It comes with...
Here we go.
Get ready for this.
Sit down on this one.
Get ready for this. This is the 512 gigabyte variant OnePlus 15. The 512 gigabyte variant features 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5X Ultra Plus. That is not a joke, RAM. LPDDR5X Ultra Plus. It is currently the absolute fastest RAM that you can get on a mobile smartphone. Now, if you get the 256 gig variant, it's 12 gigabytes of LPDDR5X Ultra, no plus.
Oh, my bad.
No
It's
plus.
so sacrificing
So,
on the
you
one
know,
name.
yeah, we'll keep the 256 on the other side of only the
For the
Ultra RAM?
peasants, yeah.
Only the Ultra RAM and not the Ultra Plus? Come on, man. No, but I mean, Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, 16 gigabytes of that RAM. It's like UFS 4.1 as far as the storage technology goes too, so that's absolutely top of the line too. It's ridiculous. The performance on this phone is absolutely insane.
And we touched on this earlier with the software being optimized, but OnePlus does have a really good job with making sure that you have the latest feature, that you have the really good security updates, but also that you don't sacrifice on the performance and the stability of the software itself.
Yeah.
This is something that every company kind of owns when it comes to Android. They own and they optimize and enhance the things that they feel like are more important, and OnePlus does a really good job in making sure that everything looks good, but it also works very well.
Yeah, so it is running Oxygen OS, and it's based off of Android 16, so it's going to be the latest, that Android has to offer out of the box. OnePlus is historically pretty good about keeping up with like major releases and stuff like that. Like I think the 13 was on track to receive like at least 4 years of major software updates. So it's not bad at all. Oxygen OS is definitely not the simplistic form of software that it used to be.
It looks familiar.
It's very much, if you've ever used a phone that has Color OS on it, which is obviously the software of like the sister company for OnePlus, they're very close to each other. I think OnePlus kept the Oxygen OS branding because that was very familiar here, like in the States.
In the US, yeah.
So I get it. The software is really good. I like it. There are definitely certain elements that remind me of another phone that I've seen, but I feel like so many other smartphone manufacturers are doing this because
it's inspiration.
It's all about trying to grab other people's customers, and if you can grab a loyal customer to another smartphone brand and give them a software experience that at least has some familiar features to it, there's a better chance that they're going to stick with the product they just bought.
I agree. Now, phone is amazing. It is honestly very impressive. But let's take a step back because no phone is perfect.
Yeah.
And I think if you've seen any other reviews or any commentaries on this phone, particularly with other reviewers, you're gonna see this common denominator of one feature, one aspect of this phone that's not top tier, if you want to call it that. Camera.
Yep.
So when it comes to the camera, you still have a 50 megapixel triple camera system, same as last generations. But there's two main things that I've noticed when it comes to not only the paper specs, but also the practicality of taking pictures with it. That's the fact that the sensors are smaller and you have a smaller aperture, meaning that there's less light that comes into the lens, meaning worse quality, low light pictures. It's really hard to say that this is a terrible camera system. They're no longer partnered with Hasselblad with this smartphone, but it doesn't mean that the cameras are bad. I think we're so used to having really good camera systems with other smartphones manufacturers like the iPhone or the Pixels or the Galaxies, that when we see something that's average or subpar, if you want to say that, then we are instantly pointing fingers and saying, this is trash, I don't want to get it out of my way.
Yeah.
If Ari and I were talking about this, and we kind of figured out that there's a better way of picturing and putting it in an understanding that this camera is not the best out there for sure. And we know that, we tested it and we saw that. But if you were to put it in a scale of different tiers, you have your Pixel, Galaxy, and iPhones on the S tier. They're good in some areas, better than the others, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Then you go back to the A tier.
That'd probably be like your Pixel Fold. Like
right,
the Pixel
like
Fold.
like the Ultra or like the Galaxy Fold.
Yeah.
They have good camera system, but it's not their top tier.
Right.
And then you have the B, where this phone would fit in our opinion.
Yeah, this phone probably falls into a B tier.
Then you have the C's, which is like
budget phones, mid-range.
nothing. D's, like Blackberries. Anyway, you can
iPhone
keep going.
3GS.
You can keep going, and you're gonna see that this phone, even though it's not the best, and it's probably not even the second best, it still falls in a really good category that's like, hey, you can take pictures and you can do okay with taking pictures with this smartphone. I mean, how do you feel about just grabbing this phone and taking pictures?
Yeah, so it's funny you mention the lower performance in low light situations because he actually pulled that from the photos before we looked at the detailed camera specs. And then once we looked at the detailed camera specs, we were like, okay, yeah, that makes sense as to why it doesn't perform as well in low light. I think certain situations, too, you take photos, sometimes the detail is not as sharp as it should be.
Right.
Especially whenever you compare it to a 17 Pro, an S25 Ultra. Those are some of the best camera systems we have available to us here in the States as far as smartphone brands go.
And it's one of those things that I think that's what it comes down to. If all you need are good pictures that you can remember, good memories, good moments, this is going to be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
If you're using your smartphone to take the most creative, photographic, creatively outstanding images, this is not going to be that. And if anything, good luck getting it on a smartphone, because even the top tier smartphones are barely getting there to get really, really good images.
Yeah.
But that's how you know if this is going to be a phone for you. And in my opinion, this is just the one downside of this phone, because everything else is top tier.
Yeah, it's like so well rounded in other categories, and then the camera performs, but it just doesn't excel as well as the other categories do.
Right. And it's really easy to say that just because everything is so above the average or the standard from other companies, that this one doesn't make it, and we're like, oh, this is so much lower. But no, that's because everything else is so much higher. That's what it is.
Yeah, maybe this year we'll see some sort of like ultra range phone from OnePlus where it'll also just have that top tier flagship camera system, albeit it will be more expensive because even the most expensive variant of this phone doesn't technically break $1,000 pre-tax. That's something
impressive.
to think about.
Yeah.
That's really something to think about.
Yeah.
All right, we took one step back with the camera.
Let's take 5 steps forward. 5 steps forward.
We're gonna
jump.
We're gonna take several steps.
Get ready.
Forward.
We're about to break your screen.
We're doing something now that it comes. Now that it comes to the battery, because it's insane.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's insane what OnePlus has been doing with the silicon carbon battery. So they're still kind of on the, we'll say, bleeding edge as far as this battery technology goes.
And they've always kind of been ahead of maybe not just necessarily battery, but charging in general.
I like that they take those gambles.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like it pushes the envelope a little bit and it makes the phone more fun. You know, 7,300 milliamp hour silicon carbon battery. 7,300. And again, this is one of the very few phones that you'd be able to buy in the States that has that technology.
Right.
We haven't seen Google use it with the Pixels yet. Samsung is probably going to be the last to do it after their Galaxy Note 7 debacle. Was it the 7?
That they try to do the Note 7.
The Note 7.
Yeah.
The one that blew up.
That one that was banned from airports. Yes. Yes.
And I don't think, I mean, Apple is usually also one of the last to cross the finish line, but they always pull things off really well whenever they do.
Yeah.
So I love that this is where OnePlus is at because this battery is nuts.
It's not even the fact that it has a huge capacity. It's on top of that very optimized. It's on top of that very easy to charge if it dies on you.
Yeah. OnePlus and Oxygen OS, they've always been notorious about like optimizing background tasks on the phone. They're super aggressive with killing unnecessary background apps and tasks to make sure that your battery is really good. I currently just have it, like the battery mode is just balanced.
Yeah.
It's not in ultra battery saving and it's not in high performance. I haven't had issues with either battery longevity or performance, right? So the last time, this is as we're filming this review, the last time I took this phone off charge, it is currently Saturday at 1 p.m.
Yes.
The last time I took this phone off charge was Thursday morning. So a little over 48 hours ago. It is at 55% with 7 hours and 43 minutes of screen on time. I'm not charging it at night either. Nightstand, it just sits there.
No charges at all.
Yeah.
In 24 hours.
48 hours.
Times 2.
Yeah.
It is unreal.
And it's at 55% and it's at almost 8 hours of screen on time. Now, of course, the usage you would get out of this phone if you decide to buy it is going to vary because it all depends on, of course, if you game with it, you're not going to get that much screen on time. You're going to burn it. But for basic things, watching videos, browsing the web, checking your emails, responding to the text messages, 3-day phone.
Yeah.
And you know what the cool part is? You see how thick this retail box is?
It ain't because of the phone.
That's because inside the box, OnePlus is again one of the few companies to still do this here in the States.
Maybe the only one. I can't think of one more. Maybe there is. But
80-watt Super VOOC wire charging set in the box. Not just a brick, the cable that goes with it as well. 80-watt wired.
also capable with the right hardware, 50-watt wireless charging.
Yeah,
if
which
you
is
needed
nuts.
That. Yeah.
Which is nuts. A lot of phones out there can't even wire charge at close to 50 watts. This one does 50 watt.
Oh, yeah.
This one does
Wireless.
50 watt wireless
Yeah.
and 80 watt wired, which is insane. I mean, the battery charging numbers with 80 watts is nuts. It's one of those chargers where when you plug it in, if you're at your lock screen, you can actually see like the decimal going up as it's charging.
Very impressive.
Absolutely insane. And OnePlus gives you all the hardware that you need inside the box. So you don't have to spend any more for it. So, I mean, you figure if this phone right here costs $999, how much would this charging hardware cost? You could actually factor that into the total cost of the phone, and that makes the value even better.
If you're going through any other retailer, you're probably spending, I don't know, somewhere between 30 to 50 bucks just in this charging system.
Yeah, which is nuts.
It is a very well packaged phone, and I mean the price is $899
Technically, still under $1,000 for the maximum configuration they offer.
for everything that you heard.
For everything.
In this video.
Also, another small note: it still comes with a screen protector installed. Is it a cheap plastic one that would scratch easily? Yes, but does that matter? No.
I mean, who's gonna complain about something that's free in the box at that point?
Yeah, if you want to take it off, you can. I personally still keep it because it's one less thing I have to worry about whenever I get a phone. I still use screen protectors.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. So even if it is a cheap, flimsy plastic one, it still gets the job done if you're being careful with the phone. The only thing I will say I wish this phone had, you can make the case, I wish for better cameras, whatever.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I also wish it did have Qi 2, like the magnetic rings on the inside.
But
OnePlus does sell cases.
that may have that same ring system included in them.
Yeah, so if you do care about MagSafe, these cases I think on the OnePlus website are like $30, $35 or something like that. This is like a nice like Aramid fiber case. It's thin, it's pretty strong, and it does give the capability for MagSafe, aka Qi 2, aka Pixel Snap, whatever else all these other companies are going to call
They're gonna
it.
have a billion names.
But yeah, that's really the only thing where I was like, I wish that would have been present on this phone.
But I'm okay with that sacrifice.
There's just so many things this phone comes with, dude. It's insane.
I think it's great. I think it's great, especially in this color, Sandstorm. I think it's a beautiful color.
There's a nice lavender though.
There is a dude. I love purple.
Yeah, there's a nice lavender color.
Purple.
And then of course, if you prefer a more neutral color, matte black is a great option too.
Yeah, and it still looks very clean.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very good options with very good storage options as well, so you can customize and get specifically what you're looking for.
Yeah. So it took us a while to get the phone. Circumstances outside of our control.
Right.
But this phone technically did not release in 2026. It's essentially rounding out the releases in 2025, but it just might have been one of the best Android smartphone releases of 2025. This phone is amazing.
I think so too.
This phone is amazing. And
I think so too.
with a starting price of $899 before any trade-in you might have, it's still a great value as far as a flagship Android phone is concerned. And I feel like even the things you should be wary of, like the camera experience, I think it's still going to be fine for a lot of people out there.
100%. I think if you're factoring everything that you're gaining versus the little that you're sacrificing, you're still gaining. You're still winning.
Yeah.
This price point, it's great.
This is a really solid phone. And while the video was a little late, I'm really glad that this is what we're starting 2026 with, because
Starting on a high note.
This is a really, really strong start.
Yeah. Now, if you have this phone or if you're thinking about this phone, getting this phone, let us know, drop it in the comments, and I want to hear your thoughts. I want to see what you think, see if there's anything else that you're excited for 2026. There's a lot of news, like tech news coming out of things that are coming out later this year.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see what's up in the line, but just let us know because we like to hear from you.
Yep. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Later.
Happy New Year.